The Stage Door Show, celebrating the independent artist. With your host, Dave Hondel.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Stage Door Show tonight. This is Dave Hondel. I have a good friend of mine on the show tonight. He's an international Italian tenor, Micheal Castaldo. Michael, thank you for being with us tonight, and welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks again for having me on your show. It's been quite a while, and I'm very, very excited to be here with you.
Actually, you were one of my very, very first guests, Michael, and I know we talked about how we met back then on that show, but just to kind of catch up my new listeners, you know, Michael and I have known each other from about 2011 when I got to New York City. Michael was one of the first people I had the pleasure of meeting, and we've been friends ever since. But Michael and I met at the Songwriters Guild Pro Shop run by Ann Ruckert, who's a mentor of us and ours, and who unfortunately passed away a few years back. But, Michael and I have kept in contact ever since. And, just the talent that Michael has, songwriting talent, performing talent, and just an amazing person as well. So Michael, it's been a great friendship, and, just great to have you in my life.
Thank you, Dave. It's been a great journey, and your friendship means a lot, and your talents, taking photos and video and editing has been tremendous in my career development as I tell my story to various friends and fans and new fans of the Stage Door Show.
Well, thank you, Michael. And just being an international Italian tenor, that doesn't mean you just do Italian music. You have a crossover act as well, and you do a lot of performing with your big band and your quartets, and your solo performances, and your Christmas concerts, and you do so many different things, and it's so varied that it's just amazing to me how you can go from one genre really to another so quickly, and you have your same fans, your super fans follow you from all over the country to go to your shows, and it amazes me every time I go to a show to see the same people that travel from far distances to watch you. So how does that feel to you to have such super fans out there like that?
It's an amazing feeling, Dave, because when you have a story to tell, and you are more than a one-dimensional artist, I like to say three-dimensional, we all have various interests. And the fact that our interests resonate with, our varied interests resonate with various fans. And my demographics have been growing over the past several years now. At one time, it was only one age group, and now that's expanded tremendously. So it's exciting. It really, truly is that what independent artists are able to do now compared to years ago was unheard of. And yes, there's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back sometimes with the technology. But once you apply yourself and you learn it, you can really, really figure out a way to best reach as many people as possible. And it's all about the story. So if it's Christmas concerts, if it's with the big band, if it's with a quartet, if it's singing Italian songs, classic Italian songs, or if it's American hit songs but sung in Italian language or the Calabrian language. To me, if you look back at the Beatles, they weren't always doing the same thing. They grew in their careers and in their artistry. Same thing with Elvis. There was the young Elvis, the rockabilly, then the 1960, then the 68 comeback, 69 comeback concert. And then there was the Las Vegas vibe. So as artists grow and develop, we're all works in progress. We develop and we continue to expand our artistry. And hopefully we keep our audience and build on it.
Talking about that, evolving, music has evolved over the past several years, and it keeps evolving. And, back when, you started in music and I even started in music videos, we didn't have social media. We didn't have cell phones even back then. So, I mean, there really wasn't the avenues that you see today for, if you don't keep up with the times, I mean, you're going to get lost in the shuffle, right?
It's true. And I did get lost in the shuffle. I had some, let's call them family issues the past several years where I needed to take my focus away from music and focus on the family. And just those couple of years, you were the one that told me about TikTok and the wonderful work that your daughter Jessica is having on TikTok. And I'm now just starting to learn about that. But Facebook, of course, many, many years, Twitter, Instagram, and there's always going to be something new that's going to come out that you need to use and figure out how to connect with your fans as time goes on. So yes, you have to stay on top of things. There's no question about it. And the music industry has been evolving for the past 125 years, not only the past several years. It's constantly evolving. If you think of the history from, the printed page to the piano rolls to the wax cylinders and the 78s and the albums and the 45s and the 8 tracks and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, and even just the recording studios over the past several years have really kind of shut down. And I know even Tony Bennett's son had a recording studio, and a lot of these recording studios just seem to be kind of fading away, unfortunately, because I think there's a lot of good a lot of good work that can be done in a recording studio. But now with the technology, people can record at home and have that same quality of sound that you would coming out of a recording studio. So what are your thoughts about the recording studio? Because I know somebody with your experience in recording, I mean, you've recorded in all kinds of different elements, I'm assuming. But what are your thoughts about recording more like in home studios now as opposed to going to like Avatar Studios in New York City, let's say?
It depends on the style of music. So dance music, Americana, it can be done from home. Electronic music, if you will. But if it's a jazz quartet, you want that live feel. And if it's obviously, rock and roll, you want that live feel, and you got to do those in recording studios. But mostly everything else can be done from home. The technology back many, many years ago to record a high quality recording took hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now it's less than 15, less than 10,000, depending on the level that you want to get to. And you can certainly do it from home as long as you have good isolation from the sound. In fact, here in Manhattan, where I live, just moments ago before we started, my neighbor above me was hammering and working on something, and I was hoping that they were going to stop before our interview here.
Kind of like the dog outside my wall right here wouldn't stop before. Yeah, so I get it. Trust me. You have to do what you have to do, right?
And then with processing, quality of reverbs that exist there, you can make your recording sound like they were recorded in major recording studios. And the amount of time,
right?
There's a lot of time. A lot of people don't realize that to do a good quality recording can take hundreds of hours and a lot of people involved, especially the song that we're getting ready to release. That was recorded in different countries. And yes, because of the bandwidth that we now have, you can record from anywhere around the world. You no longer have to be in the centers of entertainment, New York, Nashville, LA. Yes, for networking and developing relationships. But you can record anywhere now.
Yeah, and speaking of that new work you're just mentioning here is Spotify on the 22nd of April, you're going to be dropping Hotel California, which is a cover that you just finished, and I love this song, and I helped put some together, some of the promo stuff for you. But I just every time I listen to the song, it just amazes me how you can take that song, which is a classic song, and just really put a nice unique twist on it, just enough to really make it just your own. And it's just an amazing song. So let's talk about that a little bit. When was that born, basically, and talk about the process of Hotel California and how you came up with that.
Well, being a child that grew up listening to FM radio in Toronto, Canada during the 70s, when I heard Hotel California for the first time on Chum Radio. That's what it was called in Toronto, CHUM. I was drawn to the Phrygian chord progression, which is, when you listen to a Phrygian chord progression, it's very Latin, very Spanish. And so I was drawn to that. And of course, the production, how meticulous the recording process was to get it just exact. The Eagles have always been known for really being exact and so precise, and doing it so many times until it was, ultra perfect in the studio. They recorded in California. They recorded in Florida. When the song was presented to them by Don Felder, to Glenn Frey and Don Henley, the working title of the song was Mexican Reggae.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Mexican Reggae. So if you listen to the original version of Hotel California, you'll hear the guitar during the verses kind of got in that reggae groove, because they didn't know to call it a Phrygian motor or whatever the case may be. But Mexico connected to Spain, hence the working title. My version, and I take a lot of pride in when I do record a cover song, of putting my own fingerprint on it. And I collaborate with many people, and we work on it, we fine tune it, we tweak it until it tells our story.
Pensava una cosa, potessi un cielo o inverno. Poi una candela e uno sciaua via. C'era un bucito corridoio e mi disse lui: benvenuti a Hotel California. È un bello posto, è una bella faccina.
And to me, it's basically going back to actually the roots of the song, Mexican reggae. But I'm singing it in the Calabrian language, not in English.
Sure.
I did take the lyrics, I did translate them into the Calabrian language, and that just in and of itself is an art form, because you got to get the right tempo, the right meter, right pentameter, where the beat lays down, and it's not easy. It takes some time.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I was going to ask you too, when you sing a cover, let's say that was an English cover or an English song, and you translate it into Italian. Now I know that some of the Italian words obviously aren't going to be the same rhyming type of song. So some songs that might rhyme, is that a conscious thing that you think about when you're doing a translation like that, and how when you sing it in Italian that the words might not rhyme? Does that make sense?
So yes, it does, but you're never going to have a literal translation. I know several languages, and so sometimes things are juxtaposed in order to have it make sense. And then it's truly an art form, translating a lyric and making it work in another language. It's not as easy as just translating. There are some things that have to be worked and tweaked and changed around until it works. And so there's hours and hours and hours spent on this.
And I know that Spotify is really one of the top streaming platforms right now for musicians, and I know you're doing very well on Spotify right now, just doing amazing on your music on there. And I know we want to send people to Spotify on the 22nd of April. So talk about your how to find you on Spotify and what they need to search in order to find that song that you're dropping.
If they go to my website, michealcastaldo.com, and you could probably mention it in the text when you post this. I will have the link directly to follow me as an artist, and the link to the actual song. The other way is just to go to Spotify and put my name in, Micheal Castaldo, and then put Hotel California Remix, and it should come up. And I'm hoping that people will add the song to their playlist and follow me and like it, and of course share it with others. That's the only way indie artists such as myself are going to grow our base. And hopefully it's music and it's a vibe that people are going to enjoy listening to, no matter what they're doing during the day.
You know, Micheal, speaking, I mean, your long storied career, I mean, in music, and I mean, you studied at like one of the top, schools in music itself, and your history that you've had in this business. Talk to our listeners out there the importance of, because I think you're the hardest working musician I've ever met. You never stop building your business, and you're always looking for new and unique ways to gain a following, and so talk about the importance of working hard as an independent artist and somebody who's been signed and somebody who's worked with record companies and labels, and, talk about the importance of being a business person in this music world. And, because I think a lot of people out there think that they're going to get famous and rich off of, a song or two that might hit and, on social media, let's say. And, I don't think they really understand the work that goes in, that you have to put in yourself, and, without having a huge team of people. Let's talk about the importance of that.
If you think of an iceberg and you think of what pops up above the water, and then you think about the iceberg on what's beneath the water, everybody sees the tip of the iceberg and doesn't realize, what goes on underneath. And everyone who I know that is successful and happy at what they do have a good work ethic. They treat whatever art form they're in like a business, very professional, and they hustle. I'm fortunate to be a product of an immigrant family. And most immigrants that I know of don't want to go back home. They want to settle in a land of opportunity. And the way to make that happen is to work hard, work smart as time goes on, learn the craft. I was fortunate to be sat down by my uncle when I was a teenager, and he's basically said, if you're looking to become famous, then, continue doing what you're doing. But if you want to make a living in music, and you'll never know if you're going to be successful or not, but at least have your craft down. And the way to do that is learn the language of music and go to a conservatory, learn all your skills. And so that you can then become employable and use all those skills, no matter if you're the flavor of the month or not. So on that note, I was able to audition and got in at Berklee College of Music in Boston. And I got a scholarship for the last 6-7 semesters during my time there. And that was very helpful on my parents' pocketbook. But even while I was in college, I was renting out my PA system to other students who were doing their recitals. And when I graduated, I sold that business to another student. So I kind of always had that hustle in me, I would say in a positive way. Developing relationships, very, very important. This is a social business. Music is a social business. You can recall our wonderful friend Ann Ruckert used to say that all the time.
Yeah.
And knowing how to network and develop those relationships. But they keep on saying it's not what you know, who you know. Yeah, but who you know can know a lot of people. But if you haven't got your craft skills together, They might do you a favor and hire you the first time or refer you the first time. But if you can't cut it, they're not going to refer you back again. You got to have the fundamentals down. So fundamentals, work ethic, hustle, treat what you're doing as a business, and whatever you put out there, make it positive, and hopefully it'll come back in a positive way back to you as well.
You also, Micheal, are very, very close to a lot of your fans, and I think you show appreciation for the people that come out and buy tickets to watch you perform, and I've seen it firsthand. So also talk about your relationship with your fans out there.
I had the opportunity many years ago to work with Jose Feliciano, 7-time Grammy Award winner, and saw him perform multiple times. And he would always have this phrase at the end of his performances that without you, he would point to the audience, I cannot do what I do. So I learned quite early that your fans and how you treat them and giving gratitude is important, that they truly feel that, so that they feel connected to you. Music is about telling stories in a musical format and connecting. My job is to make people feel again. Sometimes they go through life, and no matter what's going on in their life, they may not be feeling. They might be just like closed up. And then a song comes around and they want to weep, either tears of joy or tears of sadness. So if I move them for them to feel again, they're never going to forget that. They're going to have that connection with the artist, with the songwriter, whoever made them feel. And my job is to make sure that I continue to make them feel, no matter what genre of music that I'm doing. And if I'm doing that and I'm doing it successful, I'll continue doing what I hope to do until my last breath.
Who out there would you still like to collaborate with or do a duet with that you haven't had the pleasure of working with yet?
Thanks for asking that very difficult question, but I have eclectic taste, and I admire many musicians and artists. I'll kind of pick one or two from each decade. From the 60s, I'll say, of course, one of the Beatles, and that would leave Paul McCartney or Ringo Starr. During the 70s, the Eagles. So I'd love to do something with Don Henley. Mm-hmm. And another artist would be Gino Vanelli. During the 80s, who can we say right now from the 80s? That was the time when I was in college, and I think about all the great artists, and unfortunately they've all passed away. But I'm thinking of all the great artists, and unfortunately they passed away during the 80s. Yeah. In the 90s, anyone from the Backstreet Boys would be fantastic. In 2000s, Lady Gaga, and currently I would say Billie Eilish. Yeah.
Well, that's a great list. I mean, those are all amazing performers, and I know that just to hear you sing with any of them would be amazing. But again, even who you collaborate with now, I mean, you have some amazing collaborations on your songs. And just again, for everybody that's listening right now that has not heard Micheal Castaldo, you need to check him out. Just amazing music, and I fell in love with your music just with the song Prayer that we did the music video for back when we met in 2011. Yeah. And just ever since then, I've been a big fan. So, Micheal, I just can't thank you enough for taking the time to be with us tonight, and also to highlight your new upcoming Hotel California cover that's going to be dropping on the 22nd of April. And we're going to be dropping a lot of different promos on our websites and social media as you will as well. So people out there, my listeners, keep checking those promos out. Go to Spotify on the 22nd, do a search for Hotel California Remix. under Micheal Castaldo. I just also want to spell your first name because it's spelled with E-A-L. So it's Micheal Castaldo. So go to his website, michealcastaldo.com, has all the promos on there, and also the dates of his upcoming radio promos as well. So you have a lot of radio support for this as well. So talk about that as well, Micheal, because I saw that you have a list of different supporting radio stations and podcasts that you're going to be talking about this going forward.
Sure. And may I add one more artist, the great Andrea Bocelli.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
Would love for him to record one of my songs. Wouldn't it be great?
Oh, man.
We did prayer together?
That would be amazing. I would love that.
That would be amazing. Radio, I've developed this wonderful relationship with many in the Italian American, Italian Canadian community that are radio hosts, radio programmers, producers throughout the country, and maintain those relationships. And anytime I have a release, they want to support one of their own, and a lot of them are stepping up and getting ready to interview me and play a snippet of the song, and continuously play a snippet of the song until the release date. And they know that we want to drive traffic to Spotify on the 22nd. A lot of them would come on board and said, Mike, let's do this date. Let's do this date. And every day that I have something new, I'm going to list it on my Facebook page and make sure that everybody's informed so they can listen in and follow the journey of this project, which is 2 years in the making, actually, Dave, because we've all been devastated because of this pandemic, and a lot of people have been depressed. They lost loved ones, and for myself, just getting the creative juices flowing again, and releasing something new and fresh that people can enjoy means a lot to me for my mental state. So the support from the Italian American and Canadian community has been immense.
Yeah, I mean, just mentioning it's 2 years in the making. I think a lot of people, when they hear a song or watch a movie or a TV show, they think they just kind of appear. These things take a long time. Sometimes you look at a documentary, it might take years to make, and a song, it's something that's a creative endeavor, and you don't want to put out something that's not, your vision. So, I mean, your vision is definitely, when you put things out, you can just tell that they were well thought out, and they took a while to do. So, again, that's kudos to you, and the way you run your business and the way you do your craft. So, again, Micheal Castaldo, everyone, michealcastaldo.com. Make sure you go to Spotify on the 22nd of April and do the search again for Hotel California Remix, and you will not be disappointed. And I know you just heard a clip of that on this podcast. So again, just go there and get the whole song. It's just over 5 minutes, 5 minutes and 36 seconds, I believe.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so it's you're getting your money's worth on this song. So definitely check it out. So, Micheal,
well, Dave, did you know that originally when the Eagles came out with the song, it was over 6 minutes? The record label told them to shorten it, and they stood fast and strong and said, no, it's got to be the entire song. The length is what it is. And
American Pie, Don McLean's song "American Pie" was over 8 minutes long, and I mean, it's one of the classics out there. So there are songs, I think, that it is, the song is what the song is. It's like if you want it to be a certain length, that's what it should be. And talking about being an independent artist, if you have your own label or your own nowadays, when you can put out your own streaming services, you can make it as long as you want. It can be 10 minutes if you want, right? So that's another benefit, I think, nowadays, to be able to put things out yourself on streaming services, as opposed to kind of looking at the record label saying, okay, well, what do you guys want? I mean, so it's there's no compromises. You can do whatever you feel creatively you want to do.
But at the end of the day, as independent artists, you know who our boss is? Our fans. If they continue to support us and stream our music, at one time, buying and come and support us when we perform, they'll let us know what they like, what they don't like. As an artist, we got to create. We put it out there. We wait and see what the response is, and we make adjustments. So Hotel California, when I originally did it, was 9 years ago. It came out on the Bergamo CD. Sure. It had a certain vibe to it, but hence remix, going in and doing things that we weren't capable of doing back then. Re-sang the vocals, just different perspective. And I'm very, very excited about the work that we did on this remix. It's very contemporary, and I think it's going to resonate with a lot more people than the first time around. Yeah,
I agree. Well, just good luck with that, Michael, and whatever we can do. As always, we'll definitely do whatever we can to support it. And best of luck, and we'll be talking to you very, very soon. So thanks again, Michael.
Thanks again for having me, Dave. All the best. Love to you, Jessica, and the family.
And you and Bojana, and also Elvis too. your dog. I love your family. So, and
I love your family as well.
Thanks, Michael.
You and Gigi.
That's right. Thank you.
All right. Ciao.